Imagine being born into a world where size is both a blessing and a curse. That was the reality for Gigantopithecus, the largest ape to ever walk the earth, standing up to 10 feet tall, weighing over half a ton. But here's the twist: the very things that made it legendary also made life brutally hard. Let's start at birth. A baby Gigantopithecus wasn't small or easy to raise. Each infant was already massive compared to other primates. That meant longer pregnancies for mothers, dangerous births, and a huge burden on the group. Think about it. In nature, being too big too early can be risky. Predators could spot you, mothers could struggle to feed you, and siblings, they could get neglected. So from the first breath, life as a Gigantopithecus was stacked with challenges. Childhood in the forests of Asia. Gigantopithecus lived in dense forests across what is now China, India, and Southeast Asia. Thick bamboo groves, tropical jungles, a place filled with opportunity and danger. As a child, survival meant sticking close to the mother. Food was simple: fruits, roots, and especially bamboo. Yes, like a panda. But here's where things get tricky. Unlike smaller apes, young Gigantopithecus couldn't just leap through trees with agility. They were too heavy, too clumsy, ground-bound from the start. And that meant exposure. Big cats, ancient crocodiles, even early humans, all saw a vulnerable, oversized meal walking slowly through the forest floor. Every day was a gamble. Would you grow strong enough to reach adulthood, or would your size make you an easy target? Growth comes with a price now. Let's imagine growing up. Every year the young ape gained massive weight. Bones stretched, muscles strained, and appetites grew enormous. A single Gigantopithecus may have needed tens of pounds of food every day. That's a mountain of bamboo and fruit. And here's the cruel irony: the bigger they grew, the more they needed to eat. But the harder it became to find enough food in changing climates. Childhood wasn't about playing. It was about eating to survive. Constant chewing, constant searching. Every hour mattered. And unlike predators, Gigantopithecus didn't hunt. It was locked into a plant-based diet. A diet that required endless supply. No food, no chance. Early competition. To make things worse, young Gigantopithecus weren't alone. They shared their forests with other strong survivors. Smaller apes, monkeys, even ancestors of modern humans. These competitors were smarter, more flexible, able to climb, able to adapt. A Gigantopithecus child, in comparison, was stuck. Too big for trees, too slow to adapt, and too hungry to survive long without constant food. So while legends paint them as giant kings of the jungle, the truth is harsher. From the beginning they were trapped by their own size. A childhood of survival. Picture this. A baby ape, already huge, clings to its mother in a dense forest. The air is humid. Predators lurk in the shadows. Every rustle in the bushes sparks fear. The mother knows. One wrong step, one shortage of bamboo, and her child won't live to see adulthood. This is the reality of being born Gigantopithecus. Strength came with struggle, and life, even as a child, was never guaranteed. Adulthood should have been the reward. Survive childhood, grow massive, and dominate the forest. But for Gigantopithecus, adulthood came with its own nightmare. At 10 feet tall and weighing over 1,000 pounds, it was unmatched in size. No predator dared to attack a full-grown giant. Sounds like paradise, right? But here's the harsh truth. Being the biggest animal in your environment often means being the most vulnerable. The price of size. Let's start with food. Gigantopithecus was a herbivore. It didn't hunt. It didn't scavenge. It ate plants. And with a body that huge, it needed endless supplies. Pounds and pounds of bamboo every single day. Much like modern pandas, but scaled up to terrifying levels. Here's the problem. Forests change. Seasons shift. And during the Ice Age, Asia's lush jungles started thinning out. The giant ape's diet was locked in. It couldn't suddenly become a predator. It couldn't adapt fast enough to eat new foods. So it faced hunger. Relentless hunger. And hunger is worse than predators. Because hunger never stops chasing you. Daily struggles. Imagine waking up every day as a Gigantopithecus. The first thought isn't where's the danger. It's where's the food. Sunrise to sunset you chew. Bamboo stalk after bamboo stalk. Your jaw aches. Your teeth wear down. But you keep eating. Why? Because without food, that massive body collapses. Your size, once your greatest strength, becomes your slow death sentence. And unlike nimble apes, you can't swing to distant trees or travel long distances quickly. Every move drains energy. Every step feels heavier. So if the bamboo patch runs dry, you starve. Competition with humans. But food wasn't the only issue. Another threat was rising. Early humans. Smaller, smarter, deadlier. While Gigantopithecus chewed bamboo, humans sharpened tools. While the giant apes searched for fruit, humans hunted in packs. Now picture this. A towering ape meets a group of clever hunters. The humans don't fight head-on. They use fire. They use spears. They use strategy. To the ape, humans were tiny, harmless-looking creatures. But in reality, they were the most dangerous predators of all. And here's a brutal thought. Gigantopithecus might have ended up on the menu. Not often, but enough to tip the scales. The curse of reproduction. Another harsh truth. Reproduction. Gigantopithecus had slow births, long pregnancies, and babies that needed years of care. That worked fine in stable environments. But when food ran short or humans encroached, the population couldn't bounce back. One dead mother meant years lost. One failed generation meant decline. And decline was exactly what came next. The slow fall. For thousands of years, Gigantopithecus clung to survival. But the forest shrank. The Ice Age tightened its grip. Bamboo disappeared. And humans spread further and further. Every year fewer giants were born. Every year more disappeared. Think about the irony. The largest ape in history, the king of the forest floor, brought down not by predators, but by its own biology, by its need for food, by its inability to adapt. Size wasn't the gift it seemed. It was the chain that dragged them toward extinction. The final struggle. In the end, Gigantopithecus became a ghost in the forests of Asia. Small groups scattered across bamboo patches, each one struggling to find enough food. Each one trapped in a losing battle against hunger and change. And then, silence. No more rustling of giant bodies. No more thunderous footsteps on the forest floor. The world's largest ape, gone forever. Extinction wasn't sudden. It was slow, painful,
So what's the
inevitable.
final verdict?
What did it really mean to be born a Gigantopithecus? It meant starting life oversized and vulnerable. It meant childhood spent hiding from predators you couldn't outrun. It meant adulthood chained to an endless hunger that was never fully satisfied. The giant ape was too big to climb, too slow to adapt, and too dependent on bamboo that nature slowly took away. Even its size, its one great advantage, turned into a curse. Because the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And in the end, Gigantopithecus fell hard. Not with a bang. Not with a dramatic battle, but with silence. A slow fade into extinction, while smaller, smarter creatures thrived. So yes, legends may call it the real King Kong or the Bigfoot of the past. But the reality is far darker. Being born a Gigantopithecus wasn't a blessing. It was a burden. And that burden crushed the largest ape in history. The harsh truth? Sometimes being a giant doesn't make you a king. It just makes you the easiest to fall.